Hello, hello. We've never met. I'm Heidi Dean, marketing expert for actors and a backstage expert. And I am so excited to be back here on the channel. But this time we're talking marketing. And specifically, we're talking about 5 ways to improve your actor marketing. And really specifically, I'm going to zero in on some changes that you can make right away to see results for your marketing and changes that cost little to no money to make. So give me a like if rocking your actor marketing for cheap is something that you want to learn. And while you're hitting that like button, let me know where you're joining me from in the chat. Or if you're watching the replay, let me know down below. All right. Hi, Mia. We are Heidi Dean fans for sure. Awesome. Thank you for joining me. All right. Having my coffee. New Jersey, David from New Jersey, Spencer from North California, Brian, soon to be New York City. Yay. I recognize you from Instagram, Brian. Chad, Marissa, New York City, Orange County. I'm from Orange County, California, born and raised. Now I live in New York. Perfect. Well, today, guys, is a juicy topic. We are talking branding. We're talking headshots. We're talking resumes, websites, social media. We're talking all things marketing. So I want to dive right in because we have a lot to cover. So let's start with the basic definition of actor marketing. So what is actor marketing anyways, right? Well, here's my definition. Actor marketing, guys, is defining your brand. Then it's building relationships with people interested in your brand and convincing them that your brand is what they need. I'm going to repeat that for you guys, okay? Actor marketing is defining your brand. Then it's building relationships with people interested in your brand and convincing them that your brand is what they need. And I think Katie's going to put that in the chat. And how do we convince them that our brand is what they need? We do that through our marketing materials. That's what you have to do with your actor marketing materials. Every actor marketing tool you have must be in alignment with who you are, your brand, and the kind of work that you want to book as an actor. And don't worry, if that sounds a little bit foreign, that's what we're going to talk about today. And this is truly the difference, guys, between doing acting as a hobby and doing acting as a profession. Right? It's what separates those two people. And to be competitive as an actor, you should have what I call an actor marketing toolkit. Now, years ago, this marketing toolkit was really pretty basic. Now, if you guys don't know me at all, I've worked in marketing and social media marketing for actors for many years now. But before that, I was actually a working actor for 20 years. Like I said, I grew up in California. I joined SAG as a child, and then I moved to NYU. No, I didn't. I moved to New York to go to NYU for acting for college. And then I worked as an actor another 12 years. But back in the 90s, when I started, I'm totally dating myself here, those acting marketing tools were really pretty basic, right? There weren't that many of them, right? We'd have our resume. We had our headshots, which were black and white back then. Maybe you had your postcards. You had cover letters, and those were all done, mailing your cover letters in. There was no email or anything. And then you had business cards. That was pretty much your actor marketing toolkit. But guys, things have changed, right? So much. The digital age has really expanded what's needed in that toolkit to include a reel, to include online casting profiles like Backstage, your email signature, maybe a website, and of course, social media, which really gives us numerous marketing channels that we can use. Okay, let me know if that makes sense. Okay, someone says, I remember it well. Yes. And you've got to stick around because if you guys stick around, maybe I'll show you one of my headshots that's black and white, which was a major misstep that you guys can learn from. I'll show you in a little bit. I think you'll love it. So what I just mentioned, those are all your basic actor marketing tools that you need to have to be successful. And we're going to talk about some of those today, okay? So let's talk about 5 things that you guys can do right now on the cheap to improve some of these actor marketing tools. So let me know in the chat, guys, if you are ready to learn something and give me a thumbs up. Heck yeah. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. All right. Oh, yes, I see David Cantor. Hey, David, you've been here before. Cool. All right, I see. Heck yes. Awesome. It's going to be juicy, guys. Okay. So I am going to repeat that definition of actor marketing one more time. Actor marketing is defining your brand, building relationships with people who are interested in your brand, and then convincing them that your brand is what they need. Okay. So if that is the definition of actor marketing, or my definition, then the first place you need to start with your marketing is you, right? You need to be crystal clear on who you are, and you need to define your brand, right? And I know, I get it. Branding, it's a B word, right? It gets such a bad rap. People hate the idea of branding, and we should just call it something else, right? But your personal brand, it's not something you go out and find. It's something that comes from within, and it's super fun to uncover because really, guys, it's your life. It's your life experiences. It's your personality. It's your essence. It's your vibe. And I don't know how that can't be fun to define and then express everywhere, right? At the heart of it, that is what branding is. Now, where a lot of actors get confused is what is your type versus what is your brand. So let me just really address that really quick and get that out there, because I know we're going to have lots of questions about that. Okay. So for an actor, type is really straightforward, right? It's basically your age range that you can play. It might be your cultural background. It might be your gender. It's that list of like cliched roles that you can play, right? That you're right for. And let's be honest, when you're starting out, it is really important to have a good idea of the type of roles that you can play. We'll talk about why in just a little bit. But when you start bringing in the idea of personal branding into it, that's the flavor. That's the unique something that you bring to the role, guys. It's so much more fun. Here's an example. So you could have, you could have 20 different people going in for the role of, let's say, 40-year-old female cop, right? Named Natalie. But do you think all 20 of those actresses that are going in to play the 40-year-old female cop named Natalie are going to play the role the same way? Are they going to bring the same essence, the same flavor to that role? No. And that is where branding comes in, right? That your unique brand, that is going to get you hired, right? Not just your type. And especially once you get to a higher level in your career, because guess what? By then, guys, everybody's going to be talented or funny or beautiful. But it's really your unique look, your unique life experiences and personality that you bring to the material that is going to win you that role. Pretty cool, right? And really, what's great when you think about marketing and branding from this lens, from this view, right, is you don't have to try to be what people want you to be. And you're actually not in competition with anybody. You're not in competition with the other 19 women going in for Natalie, the 40-year-old cop, right? There's no competition. If you focus on what you can do differently than anyone else, suddenly the competition just goes away. And it's more like you're in competition with yourself, right? Which is why I think figuring out your personal brand is just so powerful and fun, and is really one of the biggest keys to having a successful long acting career. Okay, let me know if that makes sense, guys. Okay, let me know. Okay, cool. And I'm gonna get to questions. If you ask a question, try to save it for the end too, because I may not see it as we go along. Okay. Now, one of my favorite quotes that I may have said somewhere here on another live is "Find out who you are and do it on purpose." And it is said by the queen of personal branding herself, Miss Dolly Parton, right? Find out who you are and do it on purpose. Meaning, find out what you do better and differently than everyone else. What makes you stand out? This is your brand. This is brand you. And start doing it on purpose everywhere. Make sure all your marketing materials in that toolbox, guys, that we first talked about, that means your social media, that means your reels, that means your headshots, they all align with this brand. And if they're not, you just need to work on it. Okay. And that's what we're going to talk about, some of those tools right now. Okay. Now we could be talking about branding for hours, but for today, I want you, when we're done, I want you to make a list of your personality traits. Okay. And really try to key in on your energy. Okay. Your energy, your vibe, your essence. A lot of this is going to be things we've heard from other people, but think about your energy. Some actors have super intense energy. Some are really low key. Some have a little more kooky, neurotic energy, right? Some of us talk super fast, and some of us are really relaxed and slow. Write these down, okay? You really need to understand your basic personality and essence, and that's really what makes you different and is the foundation for your brand, okay? Um, just to help you out a little bit on this exercise that you guys are going to do later, think about some actors you know. Let's see, like Kate Blanchett, right? Love her, right? I don't know who doesn't. Think about her energy. She's really strong, powerful, educated. You might even say opinionated, right? And when you think of the roles that Kate Blanchett's played, like she's played so many powerful, strong, historical figures that all fit this energy, this vibe, right? That is her brand and she owns it. And it's why when a role like that comes along, Queen Elizabeth, any of these iconic, strong, powerful roles, it's easy to say, oh, go call Kate, right? Let's see if she can do it. You want that. You want to be that recognizable, guys. Okay. Opposite example, someone like Drew Barrymore, right? Almost has a childlike way that she speaks, a much more relaxed vibe, right? And she speaks a lot slower. She has a little vulnerability to her as well. And yeah, Kate Blanchett can be vulnerable, but it's going to be a very different vulnerable than Drew Barrymore's energy. So you see where I'm getting at here, guys? Okay. Sarah Jessica Parker, another example. Physical, knows who she is, very physical in her body. She owns it. She's very confident, just exudes energy, right? So think about what that is for you. Okay. And whatever it is for you, I want you to write these down. And we're going to use these in all your other marketing materials that we talk about today. Okay. But you have to know that your personal brand, guys, it comes from within. Okay. It's your life experiences. It is your personality. It's your essence. It is your vibe. Okay. So now that you know that everything starts with brand you, let's talk about a few of these marketing materials. Okay. Specifically, we're going to talk about headshots. We're going to talk about resumes. We're going to talk about websites and social media. Okay. So let me know if you are here with me, if this makes sense. But don't you think understanding the character and portraying is more important than self-branding? Well, you have to understand the character and portraying it. But in terms of your marketing doesn't have anything to do necessarily with you on the screen. We're talking about everything before you even get that job. Okay. You got to get that job. You got to get called in. People are looking you up all the time. And some of your marketing materials precede you before you even get that audition. And the ones we're talking about right now will. Okay. When you said, oh, hey, Vanessa, right? Thanks for joining me. When you said slow talker, I immediately thought of Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey has a definite vibe to him, right? Perfect. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, guys. Perfect. All right. So we are going to keep going. So let's start with headshots, okay? Just so you guys can see my crazy headshot from way back in the way, way back in the day. So one thing to invest money in, guys, for your career, for your marketing, is your headshots. Bottom line, right? Everything in the marketing toolkit that we've talked about is important, but your headshots are the most important tool in an actor's toolkit because they're going to get you in the door, right? Somebody said, isn't playing the character more important than branding and all this? Well, no, because if your headshot doesn't show who you are, then you're not even get to play that part. Okay. So your headshot's going to get you in the door, but headshots are also really important for marketing because they're going to be used in many of your other marketing tools. Your business cards, right? Might have a headshot, postcards, website, email signatures, social media, right? So if you get this marketing tool, right, your headshots, then so many other ones are going to be checked off your list, right? It's going to make them easy peasy to get done, especially if you're on point with it. Okay. So today, and here's another assignment. You guys are going to get a lot of homework from me today. Today, I want you to look at the headshots that you're using right now as an actor. And I want you to ask yourself, are they working for you or are they working against you getting called in? Do they clearly show us this essence, this brand, and show us how to cast you? Or is it just a pretty picture? Okay, story time. When I graduated from NYU, years ago, back when I was an actress. I remember I worked extra shifts waitressing, so I could save up and get really awesome headshots from one of the best headshot photographers in the city. And I got some great shots, but for some reason, I decided to choose the prettiest, most glamorous shot for all my postcards and my business cards. But unfortunately, I was 21 and I was still playing 14-year-old girl next door roles. I always looked young, right? And the problem with that is if your headshot says glamorous or pretty or sexy, casting directors expect to meet glamorous when you come in the door. They don't expect a 14-year-old sunshine girl next door, which is essentially what I was, right? So let me show you what I mean. So this was me at 21, right? I actually got 3 shots out of the session that were awesome. Think about if I got called in for a role with this shot and I walked in and Sunshine Heidi walks in. Do you think they're going to be happy? And not to say I couldn't play this, but this was not my casting sweet spot. I don't know if I thought this was like for soap operas because soaps were big back then, right? And anyone just joining us, this is like from 19 years ago. So that's why it's black and white. But you got to understand, this is not going to make the casting director happy. That's like ordering a dress online and when it shows up, it being a completely different color and a different size, right? This was not helping my marketing. And I wish I could find my other headshots that actually booked me jobs at the same time when I got rid of this one. Okay. Right? Doesn't look like you. Well, that was 19 years ago. So it doesn't look like me because that's when I was 21. I'm 40. So, but you see, oh, B, was that photo taken yesterday? Thank you. Thank you. No, it was taken 19 years ago. I see. I don't know if my headshots are right. Well, keep listening. Okay. So I would say your headshots, guys, aren't meant to get you a date. They're meant to get you a job. Right? So make sure you choose a headshot that reflects your essence and the roles you're most castable as. Okay. And that's why I wanted you to do that exercise. That's why we talked about branding in the beginning. Really think about what your energy and your vibe is. It should be popping out of the headshots. Okay. And really the headshots that I had that really started to like book roles for me did that. I actually have a slightly older headshot. That was 2 years later. And you can see this booked me like leads in national tours, like all sorts of work. It was my energy. It was like a totally different person. This wasn't me. This was. Okay. Yeah, totally different ballgame. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Your headshot, my black and white headshots go back almost 40 years. Yes. Where are my black and white headshot people here? Drop a comment in the chat. You guys know. And you guys know, like, I feel like social media is what black and white headshots used to be. I feel like we all went kicking and screaming. We did not want to get rid of those black and white headshots until we knew it wasn't a fad. And a lot of you guys treat social media the same way. Awesome. You're old. No, you're not. Okay. So I want you guys to look at the headshots that you have. Make sure they're best representing your essence, your vibe, your brand you. And when you find it, feature it everywhere. Your website, if you have one, your social media, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. Make sure it is everywhere. Now, I told you we would do things on the cheap. If your headshot's not doing that job, your headshot is more in this category of like, didn't serve me well at all. Don't run out and get a new headshot. Okay. Unless you're still using black and white headshots, then get a new headshot. Don't go ahead and get a new headshot. If it's not serving you, go back to your proof sheet because it's quite possible that maybe there's another photo from that session that's perfect, that really captures you, but maybe you weren't really thinking of this headshot as a marketing tool. Okay, so don't just run out and get a new one. Go back to that proof sheet and see if you have something else that may work. Okay, let me know that you are gonna do this. I see hearing you out, coach. Awesome. Perfect. Great. Someone just got 8 new looks. Yay, Brian. That's awesome. You are on your marketing. So let's move on to resumes. Okay, that is another marketing tool in our toolkit. It's not just a place you just put all your credits, guys. Your resume's job is to show people how to cast you, not just to list every credit you've ever had. Now, here's a disclaimer, guys. If you are watching this and you are just starting out as an actor, then yes, you are probably going to put every credit you've ever done on your resume because there might not be very many. So yes, use what you have, put all your credits there. But as you start to book more work, you're going to eventually start to take credits off that are really out of your age range, or don't represent the type of work you want to book. Okay? It's very, very important. All right. Another thing that's super important with your resume is knowing that this is a marketing tool, your resume, guys. And if it looks sloppy or unprofessional, so do you. Okay. So you really want to make sure that it's properly formatted. It needs to, it needs to speak the language of the casting director. That's one of the most important things. One of my dear friends is casting director Peter Pamela Rose. If you don't know her, look her up. Peter Pamela Rose. She's awesome. And Peter is a girl, but look her up. And one thing she says that I think is so spot on is she explains that casting directors and agents speak a certain language. So it's like they speak German and actors speak a totally different language. They speak Spanish. However, actors need to learn to speak the language of the casting director. And that includes in all your marketing materials. Okay, guys? Your resume must speak their language so they know how to cast you. Okay? If they get your resume and they can't find the information they want, if when they look at film or television or new media, you're not listing your credits, your billing correctly, they don't know how to cast you. What I mean by that, as for film, it should be supporting or lead. It should not be your character name. For television, it should be co-star, guest star, recurring series, regular. It shouldn't be the character name. Same thing for theater is different. Theater, it should be the name of the character you played. Okay? You need to make sure you're speaking their language or it's going to be hurting you. And that's something Peter Pamela Rose, casting director, says all the time. She says, we're busy. So we get this resume and we're trying to move fast just to see what, how you might fit into our puzzle of what we're casting. And if I can't figure it out, it goes in the trash because I have all these other people that are speaking my language. Okay. Now I know that was probably a lot just thrown at you, but I have this for you guys for free. It's just on my blog. If you feel like your formatting of your resume it's not properly formatted, if you don't know the proper billing that you're supposed to put on your resume, if you don't know about how to do your header or anything like that, you can just go to my website. It's just on my blog, and it will actually show you how to create a resume, and you can download this template. You download this template and then the template with instructions. Okay, you just go to myactingresume.com, myactingresume.com. It'll take you to that page on my blog. It's fully free. You just there's no email opt-in or anything. It's just rip it right from my blog. I want to make sure that you guys know how to properly create a resume. It's so important, right? You need to speak the language of the casting director. Laura, what's your my website is actually marketingforactors.com, but if you go to myactingresume.com, it will take you right to that page on my site, okay? Where you can get this handy dandy thing. It's just on the blog, guys. But you need to make sure it is formatted completely correctly, like I said, and it actually speaks the language of the casting director and the agent, whoever is looking at it. Okay? So here we go. Any questions? Like the sign behind you. Yes, that's my actual website. This is just a redirect, myactingresume.com, so you can find the actual blog. I have over 100 blogs on my website, so it's very hard to find. Okay, guys, so we're where we started today, right? We're getting very, very focused on who you are, right? Who are you? And that is reflected in your headshot. We talked about that, right? And it shows in your resume. Then we need to extend this. We need to extend this to some of your online marketing materials, okay? Let me just make sure. It's important to add our headshot in a resume. Okay, great. I can look at all that later. So the next tool I want to highlight from your actor marketing toolkit is your website, okay? If you've decided to have a website, because not all actors are ready for a website. We actually talked about this like 2 weeks ago, Katie would be able to tell me, maybe 2 lives ago. So about a month ago, I went live and it was all about your actor website, guys. Okay. We discussed, what actors should have a website and what actors are just not ready for a website yet. Okay. So make sure you watch that live. Okay. But your website is like a super marketing tool. Okay. You need to make sure it shows us who you are. So everything we've talked about thus far, your energy, your essence, your brand, that needs to be popping off the website screen, right? It needs to be popping off your energy. We should feel it. We should know how to cast you, right? And the reason a website can be a fantastic addition to your marketing toolkit is it's like a super marketing hub. It's a hub for all of your marketing materials in one place. So, you will have your resume, your headshots, your media, everything all in one place. And think about it. If you are going to send a cover letter, like either in the mail or an email cover letter, it's so much easier to just send them to your website. And then you don't have to put any attachments that might have it end up going to spam, right? And then they go to your site and they see, oh, here's their reel. Here's your headshots. Here's your resume. Everything is in one place. You're going to link to your social media. There's going to be a place to contact you or contact your reps. It is a super marketing machine, a website. Okay. So make sure you guys watch that live. I think she dropped that in there. Perfect. And I just saw someone got an agent. Awesome. Very, very cool. And actually, we talked about resumes. If you have an agent, in terms of formatting, always ask your agent first, because a lot of agents have a certain format that they want you to use for the resume. Okay. So now that you have a new agent, Sindoro, awesome. See how they want you to format your resume. Okay. All right. So guys, websites. Go find that live that I did on websites. But also if you go to my YouTube channel, we're on YouTube, it's like not very far away, youtube.com/Heidi Dean. I have a playlist that's called Website Tips for Actors. And there's about 6 videos, including that live from Backstage, that will help you set up a website. Even like I have an awesome video that's about like the best Squarespace, Wix, and WordPress templates for actors. So all of that is over there on my channel on youtube.com/Heidi Dean. So that will really help you spruce up a website. We're not going to dive into websites much more, except that you guys need to know that everything we talked about your brand, your energy, it needs to be popping off the page. That your website should just scream you, even down to the colors you're using. Colors give us a certain feeling, and you can definitely extend that to your website. All right. Okay. So the last marketing tool we're going to talk about before I answer questions and have more coffee is your social media. Very, very important. And if you guys seen me live before, I love talking about marketing. I mean, I'm actually marketing for actors, but my real love is talking about social media for actors. I love it, love it, love it. So you guys know I've been here every other week talking about social media. So there's a lot of resources here on Backstage and my YouTube channel to help you with this. But let's just talk through a couple reasons why social media is important as a marketing tool and some things you need to be aware of to make sure that it's working for you as a marketing tool and that you're not just using it for playtime. Okay. So when we're done here today, I want you guys to look at your social media. Okay. You're doing a lot. You're going to write down those personality traits, right? Then you're going to look at your headshots and make sure they're working for you and your energy is popping. Then you're going to make sure your resume is properly formatted. You're going to make sure your website, if you have it, that it is really showing us that essence, that vibe. And your last assignment, guys, is looking at that social media. Okay. Ask yourself, does your social media accounts, do they look professional? Right? Do they feature one headshot or a professional photo that shows us that vibe? And are you using it everywhere on every platform? This is like branding marketing 101. It takes between 7 and 12 times to recognize a brand online. And you guys are a brand. So use one photo on every social network you're using. Don't use 3 different ones. Don't think that you're showing us different looks on social media. What's going to happen is if I'm not like a good friend of yours, I'm not going to know it's you. I'm not going to know it's you that I'm talking to on Twitter and Instagram if you have a different picture, even if you have the same name. People are very visual, and that photo is very small. Make it easy for me to know it's you no matter where I'm at. Okay, give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. Holly, social media virgin, still don't know what I'm doing or if I'm even doing correctly. Well, we need to talk. Go watch my YouTube channel. It's literally like hours and hours. It's like weeks of YouTube for actors. I mean, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram for actors. I got you, girl. So I want you guys to make sure you've got that consistent profile photo across platforms. If you're using LinkedIn, if you're using a Facebook page, if you're using Twitter, have you created a header, one of those cover photos, header photos, YouTube channel art if you're using YouTube? That shows us brand you. That is one of the first things we see, and it really should show us who you are and really give us an idea of your vibe. Okay, especially on social media, your vibe attracts your tribe, and that needs to be present in your headers. Okay, and have you guys written a compelling bio? Right? And compelling bio that's going to get people to hit that follow button that really gives us an idea of who you are as an actor, who you are as a human. Right? You need help with a bio? Guess what? That was 2 weeks ago when I was here. I helped you write a bio. Okay. And if you guys aren't subscribed, like subscribe to Backstage. I don't get paid to say that. Like just subscribe because then you won't miss all these lives where you can learn all these different topics. Okay. They bring so many awesome people. Okay. Thank you, Amy. Thank you for being here. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, guys. So we talked a lot in a very short amount of time. I can't believe it's only 31 minutes. I thought this was going to take even longer. So let's talk about what you need to do today. Okay. I want you to make sure you do the work from today. I know a lot of you guys, I feel like you watch these lives and then you just go to the next live and you don't do the work. So I want you to pinky swear and promise me in the chat you're going to do the work. I'm going to do a little recap so you know what you're supposed to do today. And then we're going to answer some questions. Okay. And I'll give you some resources too that are going to help you with all these. So first, you're going to take that piece of paper out. Remember, we talked about your brand, your essence, and I want you to write some personality traits down. Really leaning into your energy. Write it down. Ask some friends, ask some people that know you. Get crystal clear on who you are. Okay. Then you're going to look at that headshot, right? You're going to look at that headshot and see if it's working for you or against you, right? And if you find that it's working against you, look at your proof sheet and see if there's another one if you can't afford headshots right now. Okay. Then you're going to look at your resume. You're going to make sure it's properly formatted. You're going to make sure it's speaking the language of the casting director. And remember, if you need a template, that's totally free. You can just go to my site. You can just go to my site and try to find it on the blog, or you can just go to myactingresume.com and it'll take you to that blog specifically. Okay, guys? And you'll get like a template and directions on how to fill it out. And if you have a website, you're going to make sure that is showing us brand you. Your energy is popping right off every single page. And lastly, social media. You're going to go through the questions I talked about. You're going to make sure you have consistent branding everywhere. All right. And who was it that said they needed help with social media? It's gone now. I think it was Holly. In the description below, I have a social media ebook. It's a 30-page ebook. It's totally free that gets you set up on social media. So you definitely should check that out. You can go to ebookforactors.com or it's just in the description below. And that will get you totally set up and ready to go, Holly. And you'll have no excuse to not know how to use social media as an actor. Okay. All right. I am going to get a little closer so I can read. All right. Okay, guys. All right. You're going to do the resume thing for sure? Yes, definitely. And Sindor, I think you're the one that actually got the new agent, right? Like I said, your first step is probably asking your agent to make sure that they don't have a certain format that they want their resume. Okay. Great. Okay, guys. So I'm going to answer some questions. Like I said, if you asked any marketing questions above, drop them down below because I probably won't been able to see them. Brian says your lives have been a lifesaver during the pandemic. Oh, great. I progressed my business of acting so much these last few months, especially with Heidi's tips. Oh, thank you. That makes me so happy. I've been here a lot since March. I would say I feel like I live on this channel. And guys, I'm here every other week. Generally, it's going to be on Tuesdays, but always check the schedule just in case. Today, normally I go live at 1. It's 3 o'clock today because my 6-year-old had her first day of virtual first grade today. So it was a very busy day of Zooming and with first graders. So, okay, guys. So I'm going to answer some questions, and I'm really going to keep them to marketing. So anything that we talked about today, anything you need clarification, any marketing tools, uh, because they bring so many awesome people here that will, dive into getting an agent and all that. I like to keep it focused on the topic today. All right. Okay. Let's see. I do mostly voiceover, still need headshots. I guess it's good to have a headshot because I mean, even you're a voice actor, you're going to need a headshot, some sort of headshot for social media. You're going to need a picture of you, right? And what if you branch out and branch outside of voiceover? It's going to have a photo of you. Okay. It's always better. Even if you have a voiceover, like you running it like a business, you got to think about social media. That profile photo, it's so much better to use a person's face than a logo. Okay. You got to think about that. It's in every communication we do on social media, direct messages, and at the top of stories, it's on every post. So a human face is always better. And it really should be something professional. A voice actor, you're even more of a business because some of you guys actually work directly with brands if you're running your own voiceover business. So treat it like a business and get a shot of your head. Okay. All right. Okay. Personal assignment, Jamie. Awesome. Great. Do the work, guys. All right. Jamie, you're amazing. Even as an experienced actor, all of what you're saying helps a lot. Awesome. Great. I try to make these. I know when I go live, we always have a big range of people that are just starting out and the people that have been in the business forever. So I try to give tips that help just about everybody. All right. I just saw a question and it just moved. Logan asks how to market yourself to an agent or agency. Well, everything we talked about is necessary for an agent or agency. You shouldn't even be reaching out to get any kind of representation if your marketing ducks are not in a row, right? You need to be speaking the language of the agent. Your headshots need to be on brand. They need to know how are they going to submit you if you don't have a clear idea of what they're going to submit you for, right? So everything we're talking about, Logan, if you weren't here the whole time, the replay here will be up when we're done. Go back and watch. Everything we're talking about we'll do that. Now, if you're talking about how to build relationships, that is a whole nother can of worms, but you can do that in a lot of different ways. This is why social media is important, right? We can use social media to actually build relationships with agents, with casting directors, if your social media shows us brand you and is professional. Okay. How to get an agent is a whole kind of a side topic, but we can use social media for that too. We can use it to find referrals, right? To see, do we know anybody that might be with this agent that we want? You just look up that agent, look for mutual friends. You can do this on Facebook. You can now do this on Instagram. It's awesome. There's tools we can use for Twitter to find these mutual friends. It's so much easier to get an agent to reach out to anybody in the business or any business if you have a common connection, right? It's much easier to market yourself and build a relationship if there's somebody that you guys both know. Okay. All right. Okay. Ragnar, you are how to get noticed by casting directors in the US if you're not based in the US. Like I'm an actor in India, but to get noticed initially for self-test. Well, to be honest, if you're going to work here, you're going to need to be a local hire here. They're not going to hire you in another country if you can't work here, number one. But if you don't have a physical address here, it's the same thing all over the country. If you want to work in Atlanta, you need to have you need to be a local hire, right? Even if that means you have a place to stay, but you need to be able to travel at a moment's notice. Okay. The answer for you obviously is if you want to build relationships, social media. Okay. And I have a really awesome live, not to toot my own horn, but Katie, I keep saying Katie. Katie's the awesome social media manager for Backstage, and she is always live with us. So let's give some love to Katie. Katie, my How to Network on Social Media Live will help you, Ragnar. It's like an hour of like how to build relationships with casting directors, agents using social media. Okay. All right. David Cantor, I'm happy with my website, but no idea what to keep posting on Instagram. Oh, that's my jam. Well, David, we started today about branding and saying everything starts from you. Social media, your posting plan starts from you. really the first exercise I always do with my clients and with my students in my online classes is an exercise called putting the me in your social media. And we really try to uncover essentially what is your brand, your strengths, your weaknesses, your hobbies, your interests, all these things outside of acting that you're going to post about. Okay, David, because you're not just going to post about being an actor. It's why a lot of actors are stuck on social media because they think that's all they post about. No, you're going to post about other things that make you you. So it's doing this exercise that helps you come up with a ton of post ideas that reflect brand you on social media. And I did a live on this too. It's called What to Post on Social Media for Actors, David. That will help you. Okay. But really you've gotta go back to who you are, and all your post ideas stem from that. Another resource for you, David, if you go to my Instagram, which is this right here, Marketing for Actors with the number 4, I have my first highlight is 30 post ideas for actors. It's a whole series on Instagram stories that I gave you guys 30 post ideas like for 30 days. So just go watch those. Watch one a day and you'll have 30 post ideas that you can use whether you're booking or not. Okay, David, let me know if that's cool. And everyone else too. That will help you. Okay. Hey, Roger Anthony, thank you for joining me. Your material is amazing. I have lots to go through. I know I do have the largest collection of social media and marketing articles for free online for actors. So it could keep you busy for days. Thank you. I think it's Harriet. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, but thank you for the compliment. Okay, how does the branding of Jake Gyllenhaal work? His roles are a complete contrast of his person. I think about his movies like Soot Paw, Nightcrawler. Well, okay. When you're doing some of this branding work, you also need to go back and look at some of these, when you're talking celebrities, some of these actors, go back and look at their early work. Because once they get to a certain point, they can kind of do whatever they want. They're going to do work and do all different work. But Jake Gyllenhaal has a definite mysteriousness, definite, he does have a definite energy to him. So think about that. I didn't see the first movie you mentioned, but Nightcrawler was amazing. So I can't talk about both of those movies, but think about that. It could be totally different than maybe who you are as a person, but there's a common thread in energy and vibe there. Okay. But really go back to his early work, because I think you're going to see a more common thread. Once people become Meryl Streep and all these people, they have a little bit more flexibility with what the roles they can play and what they do. Okay. But when you're starting out, you're not going to have that same flexibility, right? Okay. Jamie says, you make me check a lot of my stuff and update them. Good. Well, that's why I'm here. You got to know, you guys, no matter what marketing tools we're talking about, they're always flexible. Even your brand is going to change over time. It's never set in stone. If you have any major life changes or things happening in the world, go back and do a little brand check. Look at all your social media. Look at all your materials. Have you changed? Are you really representing who you are now? Okay, so your marketing is always going to change. Your social media is going to need to be updated. So I'm glad I can help give you that little reminder to check on these things. Okay. Nova, I only have roles from Halloween Hunts for the past 9 years and no acting. Should that be still mentioned in my acting resume? And do I need my own website? Well, it sounds like you don't need a website right now. If you're just starting, I talked about this in the live about a month ago for Backstage. You probably don't need a website. If you don't have credits, really the big thing is if you don't have headshots and you don't have good headshots, then a website's kind of a waste of time, because guess what's front and center on that website? Photos, good photos. So you may not be ready for a website. Okay. Nova, where you need to start is Halloween Haunts don't belong on your resume. Acting jobs belong on your on your resume. So go to Backstage. You need to start with experience. Okay. Student films, indie films, web series. You can start small, but you need to get experience first. Okay. That's going to be your first step, Nova. And you're in the perfect place because this is Backstage, right? And they've got a gazillion things. Even right now, they're bringing you guys so many auditions right now. It's amazing, even during these times. So yay, Backstage. Thank you, Sonia. Viable Groove. Our pictures with bandanas, okay. Congratulations to the young Miss School. Oh, yeah. She had a great first day of school, so that was good. If bandana only, I mean, obviously only if that's your vibe, or is that the type of role you're going to play? Is that going to clearly show us that the types of roles you play? Then you might have a shot that maybe has a bandana, right? There's no hard set rules for things like that. Would I have a bandana in a picture? No, because I'm not an actress anymore, but that wouldn't fit me, right? So I guess depending on how I was wearing it. But for you, it might. I can't see a picture of you. So, but for you, it might. If that fits, if that's part of brand to you, everything we talked in the beginning, then yeah, go for it. Brian Pinella, how do you do those clever things in your Instagram stories? Let me guess. It's in your blog. Oh, it is. The clever things in my Instagram stories. Watch my video on my YouTube channel from last week. I talk about my 6 favorite apps for editing video. And 3 of them are the apps I use for Instagram stories. So I'm like giving away all my secrets in that video last week. So it's on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Heidi Dean. I think you already subscribed, Brian. But go watch the video. I gave you Mojo app is something I use all the time for stories. I love it. Clip-O-Matic I use. It adds captions to my Instagram stories. What else do I love? I started using Splice. I use it over on TikTok, and I use it for my reels on Instagram, but you could use it for stories as well. All right. Oh, it just bounced. Sorry, guys. Okay. Hi from Utah. Hey, Utah. It's beautiful there. I grew up in California. My parents were teachers, so every summer we take the little pop-up camper, and I've been to every national park in Utah. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful place. Okay. All right. Holy cow. Let me scroll back up. Holy cow. There we go. Do I need to add a headshot in the CV or need to send the headshot separately? Well, it depends. Everything's virtual now. So, obviously you're going to have a headshot and a resume. But if you are showing up in person, you're going to staple it. It's going to be on the back. It's like the oldest resume ever from 20 years ago. But you're going to put it on the back, right? If you're going in person. Some people do put a headshot on their resume, and it's really up to you. It's a preference of your agent. If you have less credits, it might fill up the resume a little bit, but you don't actually have to put it there. Okay. Indra, I love your lives. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are like giving me so much love today. Thank you. Okay. Michael, I feel overwhelmed managing multiple social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. How do you make your social media time most efficient without becoming draining? Such a good question, Michael. You treat it like a business, right? The biggest mistake a lot of actors make and a lot of clients make that when they first come to me is, we're used to using social media for playtime, right? That's where we got started on social media, most of the platforms. So we're used to kind of doing it all day, and that gets tiring. That sends you down the rabbit hole where you find yourself scrolling for hours, messaging for hours, watching a gazillion TikToks all day, right? You need to treat your social media like a business, Michael. You need to schedule it out. Number one, you need to find a time to run it every day. Find a time to manage it. This could be when you have your morning coffee. This could be maybe when you watch TV at night. Set a clock if you want. You can set timers on your phone, but make sure you're scheduling time to do it. You do it, you get out, and you move on. Okay, it's really, really important. Okay, and then you can figure out scheduling for when you're going to schedule your posting time as well. This is a huge topic, and I actually have a couple videos on my YouTube channel about it, Michael, that will help you. But in terms of managing multiple social media platforms, what's going to be helpful for you to know too is that you do not need to post every day, everywhere. You absolutely do not to stay top of mind as an actor, okay? Especially when you're running it yourself. It's good to stay top of mind somewhere, but you don't have to post everywhere every day, okay? So a lot of times when people just cut back a little bit, when they learn to repurpose, you look at my social media. Twitter is my testing ground. I love Twitter. If you guys follow me there, it's one of my favorite places to be. I used to say my favorite, but now TikTok is my favorite. Don't tell anybody else that. So, but I pretty much use Twitter as a testing ground. I see what people react to, and then I repurpose it for Instagram in a totally different way. It may be Reels, so I turn it into a video for Reels. I turn it into an Instagram story idea. I may go live about the same topic that I talked about on Twitter. I've been turning my tweets that do really well into TikToks. It's my testing ground. The ones that aren't as good, I tweak and I might take somewhere else. But the idea that you don't actually have to post all original stuff everywhere. It's not like I have to think of something new here and then new here. I'm actually really good at repurposing ideas so that they're in the language of the platform. Okay. Maybe we'll do a whole nother live on that. Katie, remind me if you guys want another live on how I repurpose to multiple platforms, because I have a big presence on multiple platforms and I run all my social media myself. I have an assistant, but they do my emails and everything, but I manage it all myself and I still have plenty of time. So if that's something you guys want to learn how to do, maybe we'll do a live on that. Okay. Hopefully that helps, Michael. Like I said, I have a couple videos on my YouTube channel that will help you with that. All right. All right. Can we still go for voiceover jobs and talk to industry people on our own, even if we have agents? Yes, because here's the thing. A lot of times when people hear networking on social media, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. They immediately go to the idea of casting director, right? Well, there's so many other people you can use social media to network with, and that depends on where you fit into the business, right? Directors, producers, showrunners, like so many people, fellow actors, right? Artistic directors. If you're in musical theater, the list is forever. Then you've got your choreographers, you've got your musical directors, you've got your composers. The list goes on and on. So when you start thinking, Sindoro, outside the idea of networking with just casting directors, there are a billion people you can build relationships with that can help your career. That might not necessarily be the first person that's calling your agent for an audition, but that's okay. They're just gatekeepers. Wouldn't it be better if you networked with a director and the director called your agent directly and you didn't even have to see the casting director? That's what you want. Okay. That's something my husband, who is actually a backstage expert as well, he's an acting coach, but he is a television and Broadway actor. He has been able to network masterfully on social media and he's gotten direct offers. He's, because of networking on social media, people that are just going right to his website and saying who is, like finding his agent to do direct offers. These are directors. He didn't even have to go be seen by the casting director. Okay. So think outside the casting director box. There's so many other people you can network with that actually have the power to get you the job. The casting directors are just there to bring people in to show to the team, right? So why don't you network with the people that are doing the projects, right? One less step. Khalid, yes, that was so helpful about the templates. Oh, perfect. Yes, guys, totally free. I actually created this because on TikTok, so many people had questions about creating a actor web resume that I created this template for all my my actor friends on TikTok. Okay. Spencer, when you say know what type to go for, I noticed that the most consistent part, which I get replies for, is dating reality TV shows. How do I break that? Because I know I'm capable of so much more. Well, that's dating reality TV shows. Well, I would go look at your marketing materials because that's reality TV. It's not even technically, they're not technically acting gigs. So I would go look at your resume, look at all the marketing tools we talked about, see how they're representing you, right? Maybe your headshots aren't professional enough, right? Maybe you need some more credits. Maybe right now the credits on your resume aren't enough to get you seen for, the bigger roles you want to play on the bigger shows, So Spencer, I'd go right back to what are your tools? What are your pictures? What are they saying? Okay. David, you say no idea what to keep posting on Instagram. I think I saw this one already. We took care of that. You're going to have 30 days of post ideas on my Instagram. Okay. Oh, this just moved. What agency do I prefer, coach? Oh, it doesn't matter. It matters what agency is right for you. Everybody if you're at a different point in your career, there's a different agent for you. Okay. So you need to do research, go on IMDb Pro, look up actors that you think you're at the same place in your career as them and see who represents them. You can find all that information online. All right. Oh, good. Everyone's saying, hey, Katie. Yay. She's so awesome. Okay. Oh, I see. I saw a lot of these questions because it bumped up again. Oh my goodness. It keeps moving, guys. Should we have separate social media accounts for personal and professional, or is it okay to have personal info, pictures mixed with our acting material? You should have one. One account that shows brand you. Unless you're gonna have, I mean, the one difference is maybe you're gonna have a Facebook personal profile that maybe you just use for family. But when we're talking about like, there's people I start working with this client and they've got like a personal Instagram and a private, but then personal and a public. But then we start looking at all the friends. I'm like, you have the same friends. Everybody you work with in the business is an actor. Are you gonna let them into the personal, but not let them? It doesn't even make sense. You need to have one brand you, one personal account. And that's why I was talking about Madison. I was talking to somebody, I don't remember their name now, about that exercise, putting the me in your social media, really getting specific about who you are and your strengths, your weaknesses. And you're really going to find 3 or 4 things that you're going to post about all the time. One of those will be acting, but some of those other things are going to be about things that make you you. They all have to align with who you are as an actor. But if you're also a mom, then why wouldn't you post about being a mom, right? Especially if you're playing moms. That's a personal side that we're going to connect to. It's going to help you grow your following. It gives us insight to your brand, also helps show us how to cast you. Okay. And that's a live I talked about what to post on social media. Madison, it will show you how to do that. Okay. But yes, one brand you on social media, public. Okay. Because people are going to find that private account and then you have to make twice as much content and it just doesn't make any sense. Okay. Especially nowadays. Right. All right. Michael, great. Great. So that helped you. Perfect. I'm going to just take probably one more question. This time went really fast. Okay. David, what's the first thing to do after you hit create account button on Instagram to start your new acting account? Upload that consistent profile photo that you're using everywhere else. Okay. Then I'll give you 2 more. Create a consistent username that you're using everywhere else. And create a compelling bio. We talked about it 2 weeks ago. And that ebook that's in the description below, or an ebook for actors.com, will actually give you 30 pages of steps to do from the minute you hit create account. Okay, so that will totally help you, David. All right. Holly, oh my God, my heart is pounding just listening to the new platforms we need. Well, that's the thing. You don't need to be everywhere, Holly. You do not need to be everywhere. I'm everywhere because I teach social media. I'm everywhere because I started my Twitter account for my business in 2015. Then I added Instagram. Then I added my Facebook page that I don't use much, but I have a Facebook group. Then I added YouTube. Now I've been on TikTok now for 3 months. Yeah, 3 months as of today. I'm almost at 10,000 followers. If you're on TikTok, follow me. I'm so close. But I got TikTok like 3 months ago, right? So you do not need to do them all at once. Use the ones that help you reach the goals for your career and then add on slowly. Okay, Holly, you don't need to be everywhere. Really, you can be on 1 or 2 as an actor. Okay, and we have a whole live about that too that we did a couple months ago. Go look through Backstage's lives. All right. Okay, guys. Let's see. All right, guys. If you have no experience, do you still need a resume? Yes, you do. And because you know what? When you have no experience, I still need to know how to contact you. I still need to know like the color of your hair. I still need to know your training, right? Now, if you don't have any training, then go get training first. But at least I need to know where you're training because that at least tells me, okay, they're working on their craft. And you might have some special skills. Indy, okay? You might, you're Indy the iguana. So, I mean, that's a pretty special skill, right? I would definitely say I'm an iguana. Just kidding. Your name is Indy the iguana. So definitely you use what you have when you're starting out. And that may be just training, special skills. That may be community theater. That may even be high school. If that's all you have, put something there and you're going to take that stuff off as you grow and you get more credits. Okay, guys? All right, guys. I am going to say goodbye because we're like right at an hour. I will be back in 2 weeks. I have no idea what topic I'm doing, but I know it's about social media for actors. So hopefully I'll see you guys here next week or 2 weeks from now. Check the Backstage schedule so you know when it is, but I will be talking about social media for actors. Until next time, I will see you guys on social. Bye.